Greetings, dearest remnant. May Yeshua Ha Mashiach continue to watch over, bless, and protect each and every one of you. I am beginning an Aurora series. Aurora referring to the Aurora Borealis. Yes, that Aurora. I'm beginning an Aurora Borealis series in which I explore the significance of the Aurora Borealis in these last days and its connection to the camp of the saints, Trump, and the Cabal. Those of you who watched part 2 of my timeline series may recall that a key event of the last 7 years from 2024 to 2025 is a shift in power from the Cabal to those who serve Yahuah's purpose. If you skipped part 2, I encourage you to watch all 3 videos of the timeline series, and there'll be more in future, but that's part 1, 2, and 3, which is a complete set. I encourage you to watch that entire set, otherwise you will miss crucial information, and you may not understand how biblical prophecy is unfolding in this little season, and particularly in the last 7 years. Some words of advice. Please do not watch just parts of the biblical prophecy timeline just to grab the punchline, because you'll miss the big picture. Do not assume you already know the parts, because there are some parts that have been elaborated in ways that you have not heard before. And the reason why you probably haven't heard them before is because this timeline is developed in the context of Yeshua's millennial reign happening in the past. And there's an exact count based on Daniel's prophecies, which are found in Daniel chapter 12. Also, if you jump from part 1, say, to part 3, you won't understand the entire context of the timeline. You'll be grabbing bits and pieces of what you feel you want to hear, rather than fully understanding the complete message. As followers of Yeshua, I think we need to seek in-depth understanding and search a matter in its entirety. Dear Remnant, we have lived through the most horrific deceptions conceivable. So make sure you know and understand every angle of what you are listening to before you run off with what you think is meant. I'm not just saying this because I want more views on my videos. There's no financial motivation on these videos. But I'm interested in the salvation of each and every one of you. Is my message perfect and without flaws? No, I'm sure it's not. But I'm quite certain that Yahuah has guided and continues to guide my path. My discernment of the shift in power away from the Cabal is based on the prophecy in Ezekiel chapter 39, which tells of events that occur around the time when the Revelation 20 fire from heaven destroys the Gog, Magog, and his minions. Around the time of the fire from heaven, there are natural disasters which we have indeed been witnessing around the world. These have been intensifying, particularly since the September blood moon. I do believe the fire of Revelation 20 already came down from heaven due to reports of both the North and South poles melting, and because the auroras, which are a sign of the saints, have been extremely active. Yisrael, who are the saints, that lived and reigned with Yeshua for 1,000 years, as Revelation 20 verse 5 tells us, emerged from the city, which is the camp of the saints, situated in the North Pole. And that phenomenon of Israel emerging or going forth from the city is found in Ezekiel chapter 39. Okay, so Ezekiel chapter 39 tells us that Israel, who are the saints, go forth from the city to burn the weapons of Gog. And this is prophesied to continue for 7 years. I believe, based on the prophetic timeline I presented on this channel, that the 7 years are from 2024 to 2030. How do the saints burn the weapons of Gog? I believe the reason for extremely active auroras is the movement of the saints around the world to accomplish this goal. The auroras, I believe, is how we perceive the saints and their travel vessels in our dimension, and I'll elaborate on that later and in future videos. More than likely just in the future videos, hopefully the next video. Now, the shift in power to those who serve Yahuah is, I believe, underway. And the natural disasters do continue because they are manifestations of Yahuah's wrath against the abominations that have been and continue to be committed on the earth. We have surely seen horrific abominations on the earth, especially since 2020. Now, there certainly were some extremely horrific abominations prior to that, but I'm talking about the ones that we became aware of in 2020 and have witnessed since then. When people observe the natural disasters, they should be waking up to what is really going on. Because Yahuah would not be sitting back and watching these abominations without expressing great anger. Satan already prepared a cover-up of Yahuah's wrath by spreading the climate change deception. For the skeptics, he carved out geoengineering. It is true that there is weather technology, as I've mentioned before. However, it only goes so far as Yahuah permits it. As Ezekiel tells us, the natural disasters are happening because they are the wrath of Yahuah against the abominations upon the earth. The dominant weapon of Gog in this little season is deception. That evil weapon is being burned by the truth, which is the shield and armor of Yahuah, as Psalm 91 tells us. The armor of truth has been wielded by the saints who are now active in our domain together with the angels of Yahuah. The Spirit of Yahuah is pouring upon the people in these last days, as prophesied in Joel chapter 2 verse 28, and many are dreaming dreams and seeing visions. Truth is waking people up from the slumber of the deception that has paraded itself as truth ever since Yeshua's millennial reign ended nearly 250 years ago. The Armageddon paradigm, which most Christians believe because they are on the wrong timeline, will soon show itself to be part of Satan's deception in our time. The Christians who believe the millennial reign is still coming are looking for an antichrist, and they're probably trying to figure out if it's Trump or Elon Musk, or maybe the one to be announced as Israel's Messiah. And they're looking for a third temple and for a global war. But these things will not come to pass because they're not prophesied for this little season. However, as I've mentioned before, Satan is working on the lookalikes. But the truth is going to obliterate those lookalikes to oblivion. Getting to the meat of this video, which is the Trump matter, okay? Whether Trump or Elon are benevolent or evil is not relevant to the prophecies that will unfold in the next 7 years. As biblical history and prophecy have shown us, Yahuah can turn the most evil of rulers to his purpose. Indeed, Yahuah may punish evil people with evil rulers. Time will tell where Trump or Elon truly stand. However, even King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon was used by Yahuah to punish Israel. And Pharaoh was used by Yahuah in ancient Egypt to bring about the desire of the Israelites to be freed from slavery and to seek the promised land. Sometimes evil rulers are made more evil to achieve Yahuah's purpose, and sometimes they are turned to benevolent behavior to fulfill Yahuah's purpose. And that is why I'm saying whether Trump or Elon are benevolent or evil is just not relevant. Their own personal views or even their agendas are not relevant. Whatever they will of their own will be turned to Yahuah's purpose. Okay? The political realities of our time depend entirely on Yahuah's purpose and the manner in which he determines to fulfill it. I believe Yahuah used the Cabal, particularly from 2020 to the present, to get people to see clearly that the entire modern era has been marked by profound deception, possibly of a magnitude unprecedented since the beginning of time. Virtually everything you can imagine, from human origins and physiology to medicine and science, history, the cosmos, virtually everything has been a lie. Even the manner in which the followers of Yeshua have been taught to worship him has been drenched in malicious lies. Satan literally caused Christians to believe they are worshiping the Messiah sent by Yahuah, yet the official religion was contaminated, and is contaminated, with the ways of Baal and Lucifer in ways I've described in previous videos. So if you're not familiar with those videos, go back to the videos I made, which are titled, if I recall correctly, Is Christianity a False Religion of Satan? Another one in which I talked about Constantine and the Sunday laws. So please review those videos. I'm not against Christians. I'm trying to expose the malicious lies within Christianity, which could cause Christians to lose their souls. Okay? So please go back to those videos and again do your own research. I'm not saying you'll necessarily agree with me, but I'm working to expose the deceptions of Lucifer from every angle, including from within our beliefs as followers of Yeshua. The extreme oppression that we experienced over the last 4 years resulted in vigorous truth-seeking and even heroic acts of self-sacrifice by those who lost their livelihoods and even their lives to break through the deception and tell the truth. I believe that now we are entering into the last 7 years where the truth bursts forth and covers the entire world, freed from the fetters of Satan's little season. And this little season of Satan will end in 2026. I believe that the leaders chosen by Yahuah to lead the world in these last 7 years will create a social and political climate in which the entirety of Satan's weapons, or the weapons of Gog, can be burned to oblivion. Trump's victory here in the United States is impacting the global political climate, influencing the collapse of regimes controlled or dominated by the Cabal. Trump has a 4-year term, and only Yahuah knows who will succeed him. However, remember, the focus of our attention is biblical prophecy and the purpose of Yahuah. We know the end of time is near, no matter how normal and comfortable the world appears to be. Trump may even bring about economic prosperity. Do not let Satan use economic prosperity to fool you into thinking that the end of time is after all not near. Remember that, as Yeshua warned us, the last days would be as the days of Noah, and that people would be eating and drinking, marrying and being given in marriage until the day Noah entered the ark. That's what happened back then. People didn't believe. Life was good. What was there to worry about? Why should they be building an ark and entering into it? Okay? So economic prosperity is a great thing. But unfortunately, in good times, people tend to forget Yahuah. Stay vigilant. We do not and must not put our trust in earthly leaders, nor in financial security, but in the true word of Yahuah El Elohim. El Elohim means the mighty God. Show yourself approved by seeking truth independently and individually. Read the prophecies for yourselves. Do not simply go by what I am sharing with you here. Read the entire Holy Scriptures from Genesis to Revelation, and read all the non-canonical books. Most of them are a treasure trove of Scripture that has been maliciously hidden from us. But of course, read with caution, because not all non-canonical texts, especially the Gnostic texts, are truthful. So be guided by the hand of Yah. Listen to his voice within. Trump's election to the presidency is causing some to rejoice to the point of abandoning their previous attentiveness to biblical prophecy and the centrality of their personal relationship with Yahuah. I see that there are two main scenarios that have been unfolding since 2020 with respect to the salvation of humanity. 2020 until 2024 has been an initial screening out of the tares from amongst the wheat. And this separation is aligning those who believed the lie against or separate from those who could see the truth. 2025 to 2030 is the final screening in which some of those who made the mistake of behaving like tares may have the opportunity to repent and come to the knowledge of the truth. And some of the wheat who were on the right side of the truth, but who were not followers of Yeshua, may fall away to the attractions of the world and never come to the knowledge of spiritual truth. They knew how to see and seek justice, but they could not see the real truth that they were seeking. For Yahuah is our shield of truth. He's the only truth, the only way, the only life. He is the master of life. During the last 7 years, more truths will be exposed Ezekiel 39, as you recall, does prophesy the severing out and burial of the continually employed for 7 months in order to cleanse the earth. And I've spoken about the continually employed in previous videos. So again, if you are on YouTube, go to my BitChute channel and go back about a year to August of 2023, which is when I started Biblical Prophecy series based on my understanding that Yeshua's millennial reign is in the past. Okay? The videos I made prior to August of 2023 were based on the Armageddon paradigm because I used to be one of those who believed that millennial reign was yet to come. Okay? But I've left those videos so that people who are trying to transition out or asking questions, or who may not be asking questions, but who may be guided by my thought process in it, okay, will benefit from seeing the older videos and then the change to the videos, which I believe are a very critical lesson for people who are Christians or who call themselves Christians in this time of deception. I call myself a follower of Yeshua, a Torah observant follower of Yeshua. And in previous videos, I've explained the difference between being Torah observant and being a Christian. So look up those videos. They're all available on BitChute. I also want to say here that the severing out and burial of the continually employed is related to the Deagle report, or I believe is related to the Deagle report, which I've spoken about in the past. So the question that may be occurring to some of you, and which occurred to me, is why should the earth be cleansed by a baptism of fire around the year 2030, even after the cleansing of the earth during the 7 years? Well, because the 7-month and 7-year cleansings are a manner in which the wheat continue to be separated from the tares. So the earth is being cleansed during the 7 years to purify the environment in which the wheat will continue to live until the very end. I believe that by the time of the end, the earth will be overwhelmingly populated by those who are followers of Yeshua. However, the earth, as we all know it, has been exceedingly corrupted. Many sites used for abominations must be removed, not to mention the effects of terraforming that the Cabal has deployed to prepare the world for its technocracy. Plant life and animal life have been genetically corrupted. There are even chimeras in existence that shouldn't be. The oceans and the soil have been poisoned. All of these abominations must be burned up in the baptism of fire. Whether the next 7 years will play out according to what I have discerned so far remains to be seen. I could be wrong about some of these things, but this is what I am seeing based on how I understand biblical prophecy relating to this little season. I will continue to watch what is happening and share my thoughts with you as events unfold. Now, in the next video, I will go deeper into the Aurora Borealis and the saints who are the passengers of Ezekiel chapter 39. If you are watching this video on my YouTube channel, again, click the link to the BitChute channel, which is in the description, so that you can find videos relating to Yeshua's millennial reign being in the past and leading up to the recent prophetic timeline. And so until next time, may Yeshua Ha Mashiach continue to watch over, bless, and protect each and every one of you.